All right, I'm going to walk you guys through the block and stage of my painting of this Great Dane, Kanaya. So this is a big crucial step in setting up the foundation for the rest of the artwork. I want to share some insights that can help you in your own process. I'm going to give you a link to all the supplies that I used in this video. I'm basically putting in doing fat over lean. I'm starting with fat over lean, and that means turpentine, not turpentine, mineral white spirits. I like to use odorless, so it doesn't smell up my basement. I don't really have any ventilation, so I have no choice but to use this kind of stuff and anything that doesn't smell bad. Actually, here I'm mixing ultramarine blue and burnt umber to start with. It's the black. I love mixing these two with the blacks to make blacks. I don't use black altogether in any of my paintings. But I could use black for initial drawing. I guess it doesn't matter, but I just don't use it because I think it's too strong of a value in the value scale. I tend to not go too harsh with the values when I go with the painting. So that means like super bright white and number one in a value scale. And I'll send you a link to what that value scale is in the description below. And that means number one to number 8 or number 10, depending on what value scale you're looking at. Usually the darkest darks is something I avoid, and the lightest lights is something I also avoid in a painting. Here I'm just really roughing in, blocking in all the shapes, getting the shapes down, and not focusing on any of the details yet. I'm using a proportional divider. Link will be in the description below. And the proportional divider basically is I start with measuring the nose, the width of the nose, and I use that width of the nose to give me the overall width of the portrait or the head. Sorry, width of the head. So in this case, it's probably seven noses wide, and that helps me. Yeah, just helps me with the measurements. Instead of using a grid, I usually just start with using a proportional divider and getting the right measurements in there. It's pretty crucial at this stage, mapping out the structure of your painting like this. It's like similar to a blueprint of a house. When they design a house, you're mapping out the rooms, basically mapping out the widths and overall structure of the house. So right now I'm mapping out the structure of the eye, where the eye is, using just measuring the eye width and the height, and then I'm counting how many eyes width all the way to the nose. Then this gives me the width from the space between the eye and the nose correctly. And I'm guessing the space between the eye and the head, the top of the head. And what else? This step helps me establish proportions, right? Getting the overall composition right, getting the mood right. I'm working to capture the essence of the Great Dane here. The elegance of this Great Dane, the size, the distinct form of this Great Dane. I just love painting dogs. I don't know. I just love painting dogs. Uh, what other creature would you not love painting? It's just dogs are great companions, and I think people love having their companion as a portrait hanging on the wall, something that remembers. They can remember them for forever, right? So yeah, Kanaya's looking good here. I feel confident with the measurements that I've got here, and I'm constantly checking, and I'm working in with shapes, right? Um, I work with Winsor Newton paints and Van Gogh paints, and I'll put descriptions below for those. So yeah, there was like a bit of a reflection, so I had to put it up on an easel, and it was really bothering me, the lighting. Um, so I like to avoid bright, saturated colors at this stage. I keep it neutral. You know, I balance the light and the shadow without distraction this way. The key learning is to focus on the values, right? Not the details. You ask yourself, does it look right from a distance? Step back a little bit, squint your eye. You should already start to see a Great Dane take shape when you just step back and take your time, get all the proportions and the shapes and the space accurate. When working with such a large subject like this Great Dane, I break it down into simple shapes, of course. Uh, you know, um, either like triangles, rectangles, anything like the ears is a big triangle, for example, there, and so on. This helps me avoid being overwhelmed with the complexity of the anatomy of this animal, right? If you work in shapes and negative space and in small areas, focus on smaller areas, then work your way around the piece, you won't be as overwhelmed, right? Um, Measure your proportions constantly. I can't tell you that when you're working on a drawing like this, a render like this, you're always measuring to get it right. You compare the height of the head with the length of the body, maybe the height, the width of the nose again with the structure of the ear, or the eye, or anything like that. Remember, here perfection isn't the goal yet. So, but you're aiming for accuracy without overthinking, right? Um, Here, what you're doing is it's a rough drawing, but if you don't get the drawing right in the beginning, it's really hard to get that painting to look right. It doesn't matter how well your painting is or how good you paint. If you can't get this initial drawing accurate or close to, I don't know. It's very hard to get it to look right. You know. So let's see. This. So I'm using. Uh, did I mention the dagger? Yeah, I'm using the Rosemary and Co. Ivory daggers. One is like a 1 1/4 length, and then that one I think that I'm using there, I'm not sure. It's either the 3/8 or the 1 1/4. So I go between the two of them, and they're daggers, so there's like a triangle shape to them. Um, I keep my brushes and the brush strokes very loose. You can see I'm not holding it like a pen or a pencil. I'm holding it by at the very back or very edge of the painting. Once in a while, I do like to, smudge the paint together with my finger. I like to blend it, basically, the transition between the blacks and the whites, maybe some shapes transition together in this really rough stage. Takeaway here is not to be afraid to make mistakes, right? It's easier to adjust in this stage than later on, exactly what I mentioned. So um, don't be afraid to make little mistakes, but um, once you once you get it, once you get the shapes in there correctly, and you feeling confident that it looks like the rendered or the reference that you have, um, this then go ahead and start painting in color, right? And then once this block-in stage is complete, I start working with the background color and looking at the edges. I'm using a purple here because, well, I think this lavender or this magenta type color works well with the color of the specific type of dog here. And I did remember my cousins having sort of purple, violet, crimson type of color theme going on at their home, and maybe this will help match a little bit on your walls. So I like to have the underpainting, the tone background that I did initially, kind of peek through under that purple lavenderish paint that I have right now. This is generally called an imprimatura. It's a specific term for a transparent wash of color applied over a prime canvas to tone the surface and reduce the stark whiteness in the initial stage. I usually burnt sienna is a classic choice for this. Toning the canvas, is more of a casual term for applying a wash to create a base color, which can help unify the composition and influence the overall mood of the painting as the layers just get applied over and over and over. Hope this was helpful, and I'd love to hear more about your own block-in techniques in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please like, subscribe if you like this content that I'm giving, and you're going to see a lot more videos I'm going to bring out. I'm going to finish this painting in full color in the next video, so you won't see it unless you subscribe. So thanks again for watching.